Hi there, this is Matt, State of Flux, here with another of my Pixar reviews, this time to talk about Toy Story 2. This is the much beloved sequel to the original Toy Story that I actually land on a bit of a controversial take. I think it is vastly inferior to that first film. Sure, the animation is a step up. The scope, the spectacle, it is much bigger, much wider. It's grandiose, while also telling a little more of a personal story. That said, I think this movie's turrid path to production led to a lot of half-baked ideas. The ideas are grand and they're fantastic, but they feel undercooked. For those that don't know, this movie was originally set to be a direct-to-video sequel that Disney had often put out back in the day on the home video market, and the filmmakers took a look at what was going to be and was like, this property and the first Toy Story was so monumental that that was not the path to go. So they started from the ground up and they released this movie kind of in its current format, and along the way had a couple bumps where the movie was almost lost forever when it was almost completely finished, but due to a woman who was working from home while pregnant and whatnot was able to save the deleted version. This is all stories that are more interesting, honestly, than the movie that you watch itself. That said, Toy Story 2 is a good movie. It is a film about Woody dealing with being a show toy. He gets injured early on in the film and put on the top shelf, the dreaded top shelf. And then ends up through a series of scenarios getting put up for bid at a garage sale at Andy's house, where he is picked up by a toy collector who wants to sell Woody to a Japanese museum, where they're doing a showcase on Woody's Roundup, the show that Woody is from back in the day. And all this stuff is pretty solid. It's dealing with some heavy themes and issues of being an unwanted toy, or transposing that to a person, an unwanted person, and how you find purpose. And sure, you can live in this this show and be admired by many people who are watching you, but that's not the same as being played with and whatnot. The villain of the story, played pretty well by Kelsey Grammer, along with Newman from Wayne Knight, Newman from Seinfeld, is pretty solid for villains that are radically different from the first movie. But while they really nail all the Woody aspect, they clearly don't really know what to do with Buzz. His entire story arc is wrapped up in that first Toy Story movie. So much so that they try to trick you into thinking that he has an arc in this film by exposing how much his character has changed through the use of the other Buzz that they meet at the toy store, and that just kind of shows you how the juxtaposition of the two Buzzes. But this film offers no real character growth for Buzz. He's just trying to find and recollect Woody. I have a feeling that the people who are really, really, really avidly against or down on Lightyear is because of this very film. Because that movie contradicts certain pieces of information we're given through the context of this film. And all that stuff, the riff on Star Wars is, well, cute, not really, like, well thought out. So getting all upset about that always seemed a little weird to me. But Lightyear's a conversation we're going to have down the line. I will say I really like the opening of this movie, even though it being like a video game and video games in 1999 were absolutely nothing like they are presented in this film. It's pretty fun way to open the movie and making you think that this is going to be a continuation of Buzz's story, and that really isn't at all. But that's okay. Woody is the pillar of the Toy Story verse in many ways, and this showcases Tom Hanks' excellent ability to portray that character. And gives us some other great characters in Jesse and the villain of the piece. But yeah, I like this movie. It has good ideas, but a lot of them will be repurposed and used to much better execution in Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is the completed idea set that this film was trying to put into the ether, but it did it in almost a too rushed fashion. Toy Story 3 takes those same ideas and concepts and really forms them into strong beats of storytelling. Toy Story 3 is a conversation down the line, but it is important to talk about within the context of Toy Story 2 because, as I say, the ideas are there, they're just not executed as they probably should be. The one and only example where it's really nailed insanely well, and why I think a lot of people have so much appreciation for this film, is through the excellent Sarah McLachlan song. That song is so good, and that 4 minutes is so magical and emotional and engaging that it makes you think the entire rest of the film is as good when it really kind of isn't. So it does sound like I'm trashing this movie a little bit, and I'm not. It's just, it's standing next to to a giant, a titan that is the first Toy Story, and Toy Story 2 just isn't up to that same level. It's still very good. It's better than A Bug's Life, and better than several other films coming down the pipeline, including even other ones in the Toy Story universe. But I give this movie 3 stars. I've sort of exhausted what I have to say about it. It's a beautifully animated film that does hit you emotionally in certain scenes and has a really great expansion of character for Woody, and it really kind of dives deep on the suggestion that Toy Story had brought up of like the changing of the guard, if you will. Back in the day, we celebrated westerns and gunslingers as our main heroes, and with the space race, that all changed to Spaceman and Star Wars and all that kind of stuff. And this movie, well, the first one just kind of suggested that. This movie kind of hunkers down into that idea of the gunslingers of old versus the space warriors of now. That aspect of the film is good. Again, it's just, it's there and it's stronger, put to stronger use in this film, but it's just also kind of a half-baked idea because the movie loses that story thread pretty early on when it just straight up ignores Buzz for most of the film. But yeah, I give it 3 stars. Let me know what you think of Toy Story 2 in the comments down below. I know people that think this is not only the best Toy Story movie, but the best Pixar movie. Where do you land on that? Weigh that down in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and peace.